Welcome to Founders Forum. My name is Executive Trustee David Renty. As you build your syndications, have you ever felt like you had to perform specialized surgery to help prospects understand the opportunity? Have you found yourself nearly having to be a savior? Well, I tell you what, today's topic is an interesting one and provides insight to what you really offer to potential prospects for CMI. Let's get into today's program with the CMI founder and executive trustee, Mr. James E. Aldridge Jr., on the topic, Two Noble Professions.
Welcome once again, and thank you for inviting me into your morning, evening, afternoon, whichever you may be in at this time. Fireman and doctor. Two noble professions, a fireman and a doctor, firefighters and physicians. You might ask, what do we really do in CMI? And what do these two professions really have to do with CMI? It really talks a lot toward who are we truly in CMI and what is it that we really do? In reality, we spend more time putting out fires and diagnosing specialized financial illnesses than most firemen and physicians today. This is who we really are. This is what we really do. You know, we're firemen. We put out fires constantly for families, and we are specialists in our field, and we are able to diagnose particular illnesses on a financial basis that all of the so-called professionals out there simply overlook. Even before 9/11 highlighted and created heroes out of these people, we already realized how very needed and these two professions are, and they are absolutely can't do without professions. I saw a certain nobility come out of these professions as we saw what they did in assisting and helping families and bringing them back from the brink of disaster. Well, believe it or not, the same type of situation exists with families that seem to make it their way to our doors. Only difference is we're putting out financial disasters that if they are not taken care of immediately, the more destruction they can cause. Just like a fireman, the quicker he puts out that fire, the more of that family's life is saved and preserved. Because when you look at what a fireman and a firefighter does, that's exactly what they're involved in, is putting out fires as quick as possible. The longer it takes, the more destruction that there will be. They're even in a position of putting their own lives at risk to save other families by going into burning buildings. You might ask, how do we put our lives at risk to save other families? If you had remembered tape 1 in Founders Forum, which deals with how this all got started, titled In the Beginning, there was a definite financial risk on my family to keep this company going, in which my wife worked and that income supported the business. We depleted our savings. I had to go out and get odd jobs. I was on the brink of bankruptcy, on the brink of financial disaster. But what was more important at that time was, believe it or not, there were families that needed what we were trying to do and what we needed to bring to them um, even more than we did. And in the process of sacrificing what I may wanted to do with my life at that time, because I had other businesses I could have gone into and been extremely profitable, and not even have to worry about the welfare of other families. You will find yourself in a similar position if you are only working with modest means today. You are going to have to make a sacrifice of maybe time, or maybe you wanted to buy something that you will have to put off because you need to use that money to build your CMI business. And in doing that, that means that you have to be there for others. We are about being there for others. And in doing that, you will, of course, reap the rewards and benefits that come along with that. Like firemen, if we do our job quickly and efficiently, we have an opportunity to help save as much of a family's financial position that is left from the disastrous fires that they've been under, from the economic situations we've experienced over the past 4 or 5 years. And as much of the family's finances that we can save gives them an opportunity to rebuild. Believe me, in CMI, we spend most of our time listening to families making statements such as, I need to do this as quickly as possible because I have the potential of being laid off. Or I just got laid off and this is all I have left. Or in 3 weeks, I'm about to file bankruptcy. I have to do something right now. Do you have any way of helping me put out this fire today? You may be in a position where you just got into CMI, and it's a basis of what you need to do with this person is help them enlist individuals as quickly as possible. Well, that may need to take a couple of CDs to do that. They aren't in a financial position to do that. So you make a sacrifice. You purchase a couple of CDs. You give that to that person and say, here, take this to these types of individuals. And if we can go ahead and enlist them and you at the same time, then that's going to give you an opportunity to start making money immediately in CMI. Even though you only have your initial capital, initial startup funds to work with. You are sacrificing time and money from your family to assist that individual to put out his emergency need right then and there. Now, how does that come back to you? Well, he ends up coming in and enlisting 3 or 4 people when he comes in, and all of that income then filters to you. Again, you assisted him in taking care of a particular fire at that instant. We seem to be constantly in a mode of doing that. The worse the economy gets, the more we have families coming to us in that manner, because we have so many families that are still out there thinking, it'll never get to me, it can never affect my job is immune from layoffs, etc., etc. And by now, no family should think that they are immune. Everybody should realize that they can get got. You may be one of those individuals that feels like, well, I'm doing fine. I don't even have any smoke. And of course, that phrase of where there's smoke, there's fire. So I have no need for CMI. Well, this is about fire prevention, fire insurance. That's what CMI offers an individual. Practice fire prevention now, and it can increase the chances that if something does happen, it can decrease the chances that if something does happen, your finances will not go up in flames. You've got insurance for your home and your life and your car. How many of you ever considered having a insurance policy as backup for your finances? So much of what happens and have happened to families in the past is so needless because all it took was a little preparation in the beginning. I remember when my son came home in elementary school and said, "Dad, we have this fire prevention week, and these are some things that they want us to go through at home in case we have a fire." Well, you need a fire prevention lifestyle for your finances. You need to put the things in place to make sure that you do not have a fire in your home. You need a financial smoke alarm for your family. In other words, when your finances start to take a hit, there's this alarm that goes off. And what happens is you have these sprinklers that come on that puts out this fire before it gets to be a huge disaster. That sprinkler is your CMI income. So if you start just with a simple syndication today and something does happen in the future, at least you have something to sort of start to put the smoke out. You have a second source of income to back up the source of income you may or may not be getting laid off from in the near future. You have to realize you are in a position to truly do life-saving work as a fireman, as a firewoman, or fire person, or whatever is politically correct in that particular instant. My hopes is, as a noble profession, as a firefighter, that one day our services will not be needed, that we have full prosperity in our country, that our country operates in a manner similar to the Caymans. No unemployment, no inflation, no joblessness. We have to ship in individuals to work, from surrounding neighboring countries. But until then, until that time, we'll be there. This actually gives me an opportunity to go into the next profession, and that is the medical practice, a doctor. In CMI, you will truly become a specialist. You will find that through our educational process, you'll actually be able to look at a family's financial position and diagnose what is truly wrong with those finances. And you will realize that you come up with solutions that no other financial institution has seemed to come up with for these families. You will see things in a family's finances that are basically overlooked by other financial institutions. Many financial firms and institutions only address one or two of a family's particular situation when, unless you address the entire package, if you leave out any one of those elements, then the entire financial program will not work. And what do I mean by that? Well, you notice we handle families' finances from beginning to end, from generating income, saving, to the right taxes, investing, charitable giving, and estate planning, along with a full debt reduction plan. Now, you'll find that you'll sit down with a financial person and they may go through a plan for debt reduction, but no way to generate additional income outside the home to support a faster debt reduction. that does not allow you to have to go into further debt. May it be that an emergency comes up so you can't keep on your budget, or they want to lock you into some type of financial indebtedness, bill payer loan, etc. Or they will work on your tax position but not realize that the income that you have coming in is not enough to even support the tax position they want to put you in. Or they may be involved in estate planning and forget about the aspect of the taxes that go on to the next generation in the estate planning. Sure, they have your taxes managed for when you pass, but when that estate goes to the next generation, then there's a huge hit on that end. All of them leave out the one element of having additional income coming into the home. I think that's one of the primary focuses is, people can do well if they have enough money to do well with. And the issue becomes with what's going on with inflation and the economy and the purchasing power of the dollar, that their salaries are not keeping up with the modest lifestyles that they have. So we saw a basic element in helping people earn additional income, a primary goal in a person's full financial situation. You will notice, as a specialist in the financial industry, we will be able to find the missing element and how to bring that out for the family and to resolve whatever that financial illness is. We are able to diagnose financial situations that are absolutely constantly overlooked by the industry. We specialize in the tools that we have and the type of surgical financial tools that we utilize. And that is, there are a lot of individuals, a lot of general practitioners that know about foot illnesses, but when you have a specialized illness with that foot, with a person's foot, then you go to a specialist. Or a lot of general practitioners know about general heart problems, but when you have a specialized heart problem, you go to a specialist. It should be the same way with your finances. We have a lot of financial individuals that know about precious metals, silver eagles, but when it comes time to utilize them to resolve your particular financial problem, you need to be with someone that is a specialist in precious metals, and that is CMI, and soon to become you as you go through our financial information. You have a tax problem as a W-2 wage earner. Well, there's a lot of tax preparers that know how to do taxes, but do they specialize in researching the tax codes for W-2 wage earners and being able to diagnose what tax position they actually need for where they are financially and where they want to go? In other words, to solve their medical financial illness. Well, no, there aren't. We specialize in working with W-2 wage earners. We specialize in working with small, mid-sized, home-based business owners. We specialize in working with multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar companies. Now, the fact that we can take you from one end to the other is our special skills, and the fact that we have the tools necessary to do it with. We have families that have come to us that have been everywhere you can think of: financial planner, tax attorney, CPA, investment banker, Uncle Bill, Grandpa Daddy, and looking for solutions to their particular situations. We will find ourselves sitting down and asking, okay, what is it that you need? And how soon do you need it? Then we'll look at, well, what is it you have to work with? These are all questions that specialists will ask. General practitioner will simply sit you down and say, okay, these are the products we have to sell you. They're not interested in what the true illness is, what the true trauma might be. In listening to the answers to these questions, many times, within a very few minutes, we come up with particular solutions to your situation, and you will look at us in total amazement of, I've went to this professional and that professional, and they never once mentioned that I could use this tool or that tool to resolve the illness that I have financially. Well, that's what a specialist does. That's what they're able to do. We are able to catch what the general practitioners miss. To a trained CMI eye, it's obvious what the problem actually was. Only because of our specialized knowledge are we able to come up with the kind of solutions that we do. There's no mystery, nobody walks on water around here in CMI. There's no magic to what we do. It's simply the set of knowledge and information and tools that we have and learning how to utilize those. If you notice, we actually practice natural medicine because our tools go back to the basics. And the basics are, do you have any kind of savings? And I don't mean 401ks. I mean actual savings. And if you do, then what are you saving with? Tangible assets takes you back to, since there was a monetary value, silver, gold, as opposed to paper money. Some of our information, as far as the IRS is concerned, taking you back to the original way that families handled their finances prior to the Internal Revenue Service being here. That's taking you back to basics. That's practicing natural medicine. Investing in things that make sense, into real estate. That makes sense. I don't know how much sense it makes invest into a stock in a company that has had a losing track record for the past 15 years, but you buy low, you sell high. So you're buying low and expecting that it's going to go up. I don't know how much sense that makes to most people. I know it doesn't make much sense to me. But to invest in something that I know has always been of value, and that's a home, property, real estate, something that has always had the ability to go up in value, something that you could control the value of it yourself by maintaining it and keeping it up, and you can control the rate of return on that yourself. That made sense to me. Being charitable made sense to me. And that's getting back to the basics. Generating income and wealth and security by being a giving person, by being a charitable person. Providing for families' future as well as immediate needs by using charitable concepts. So again, instead of newfangled medicine that they have out here, which is bill payer loans, home equity loans, that's the new chemical man-made medicine for trying to resolve particular financial problems and issues. Finding somebody to go to work for. Getting back to the basics is having your own business, whatever it is. Investing in time-tested financial products. Precious metals never lost money in its history. Silver Eagles in the 17, 18 years never lost money. That makes sense. Getting into real estate. Some of our information is as much as 1,500 years old. Now, if that isn't getting back to basics, I don't know what is. A natural solution to natural challenges. Common sense medicine. You keep losing money in your regular savings, it makes common sense to try and do something different. Change your savings account. You'd be surprised how many people don't understand the simplicity of this kind of thinking. If you're losing money with that account, change it. you will find yourself spending valuable time just asking families what's wrong. Where do you hurt financially? And as most specialists, you'll find the very thing that everyone else overlooked. As a financial doctor, you'll find yourself being incredibly rewarded. And I don't mean just financially, but also the reward of realizing that you make a difference and you made a difference in those individuals' life. You came through for them when no one else could. You cured, you healed a family. All of these rewards will be without end, and it's impossible to take these rewards out and apply some type of a price tag to it. Yes, our practices are one of a kind. And I would not even like to think of what if we were not here. Now, don't think that this cannot be you. It is you, simply by virtue of you using and sharing the same information. Simply by virtue of the fact that you are listening to this information right now proves that not only can this be you, but this is you. You possess the power to save families, taking care of their immediate financial needs, finding out the specialized problems that have been overlooked, offering short and long-term solutions, putting out fires and healing. Fireman, doctor, two noble professions. You want to be proud of who you are as a CMI member. Know that you are very much needed, that you are wanted. We are on our own and we are on a mission. Families are going to be saved. It is up to us. Some of you may see this as a huge responsibility and hesitate to undertake it. Know now that you should view this as a calling. You would not be here unless you were supposed to be. You would not be in this position unless you were supposed to be. Know that it is our time, that the economy has created the need for professionals such as yourself. Know that the economy has created situations that families have found themselves in, not due to any fault of their own. They're looking for us. They're watching. They're waiting. They're going to bed at night, waking up in the morning, going to work, coming home each evening, saying that there must be a way. There must be a way. You are their way. Utilizing the information, knowledge, and tools, you are their solution. Thank you.
A physician and a fireman. Yes, that's what we are. So the next time when presenting the TASIC, you and I will be better equipped to explain a different